It's been a long time since I left a cinema and felt the need to simply walk. Not to a car, not towards a specific destination, but just to walk under the city lights and let the emotional residue of a film settle. The world feels different after watching Sitaare Zameen Par. The familiar sounds of Lahore traffic, the scent of evening jasmine, the faces of strangers, they all seem imbued with a new, gentler potential. It's a feeling I haven't experienced with such intensity since a certain film about another special star landed on Earth 18 years ago. The weight of expectation attached to a title like Sitaare Zameen Par was astronomical. To invoke the legacy of Taare Zameen Par, one of the most culturally significant Hindi films of the 21st century, is to make a promise of profound emotional depth and social relevance. It is with a heart full to bursting and eyes still slightly blurry that I can report. Director Prasanna, Aamir Khan, and their extraordinary ensemble have not only fulfilled that promise, they have transcended it, creating a film that is not a companion piece, but a glorious, soaring evolution. Where Taare was a tender, necessary ballad of pain and discovery, a plea for empathy wrapped in a story of a single, misunderstood child, Sitaare is a full-throated, joyous rock anthem of collective triumph. It is a film that replaces hushed reverence with uproarious laughter, quiet tears with cheers of pure, unadulterated elation. It tackles the subject of Down syndrome not as a topic for a lecture, but as the backdrop for a hilarious, high-stakes, and unbelievably moving underdog sports saga. It is a cinematic miracle, a film so brimming with life, wit, and defiant humanity that it feels less like a movie and more like a transfusion of pure joy directly into the soul. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, a masterpiece. Our reluctant portal into this world is Arjun, a role inhabited by Aamir Khan with a magnificent, layered weariness. Arjun was once the wunderkind coach of Indian basketball, a tactical genius known for his ruthless, win-at-all-costs methodology. But his story is now a cautionary tale whispered in sporting circles. The film subtly weaves in his backstory. A promising player on his team suffered a career-ending injury under Arjun's relentless pressure, leading to a devastating lawsuit and public disgrace that left him broken and unemployable. We meet him marinating in a potent cocktail of cheap whiskey, self-pity, and curdled cynicism. When his old friend and agent lands him a charity case, gig coaching at a vibrant community center named Angan, Arjun accepts with the palpable disgust of a king being asked to clean the stables. This stable, however, is a kingdom of its own. Angan is a sanctuary, a riot of color, noise, and unfiltered life. And his assigned team, the self-proclaimed Angan Avengers, are its ruling monarchs. From the moment Arjun steps onto their basketball court, his carefully constructed wall of misery begins to crumble, not from a gentle tap, but from a full-on assault of personality. There's Roshni, a scintillating, star-making turn from Pallavi Gupta, a young woman with a tactical mind that rivals Arjun's own, who watches his drills with a skeptical scowl and isn't afraid to call out his outdated plays. There is the towering, gentle Sameer, Rohan Joshi, a boy of few words but with a powerful, almost spiritual connection to the ball, whose unorthodox hook shot is a thing of chaotic beauty. And then there's Monty, the irrepressible Vivin Shah, the team's hype man, beatboxer, and resident philosopher, whose hilarious, often surreal, running commentary on life, love, and basketball forms the film's comedic backbone. The film's first act is a masterwork of character-driven comedy, as Arjun's rigid, militaristic coaching style collides with the Avengers' glorious, joyful chaos. He demands push-ups. They dissolve into a giggling heap. He draws up a complex play. They decide it would be more fun to invent a synchronized dance move. This isn't comedy that punches down or patronizes. R.S. Prasanna, who so brilliantly navigated tone in Shubmangal Savdan, directs these scenes with a surgeon's precision and an artist's heart. The humor arises from the fundamental truth of the characters, from the clash of Arjun's jaded worldview with the team's profound, almost defiant, ability to live entirely in the present moment. We laugh with them, not at them, and in doing so, the film subtly disarms our own ingrained prejudices. The emotional anchor in this beautiful storm is Anjali, played by Genelia Deshmukh in a comeback performance of staggering maturity and grace. The bubbly effervescence that defined her early career has deepened into a radiant, resilient warmth that grounds the entire film. Anjali is not just a special educator at Angan. She is Sameer's older sister, and her fierce, unconditional love for her brother and the entire community is the film's moral compass. She is the first to see the flicker of a good man buried deep beneath Arjun's bitterness. Their relationship is one of the film's most rewarding aspects, eschewing boilerplate romance for a slow, earned respect. A pivotal early scene sees Arjun, frustrated, refer to the team as these kids. Anjali's response is not angry, but devastatingly calm. "They are not kids, Arjun," she says, her voice soft but laced with steel. "They are adults. They have hopes, heartbreaks, and a much better sense of humor than you do. Your job isn't to fix them. It's to see them." It's a line that reverberates through the entire narrative, a thesis statement delivered with quiet power. Aamir Khan's performance is a marvel of self-effacement. He allows himself to be the straight man, the grumpy foil to the dazzling light of his co-stars. It's a performance built on reactions rather than actions. The slow erosion of his cynicism is a joy to behold. It's the ghost of a smile he can't quite suppress when Monty dedicates a particularly absurd rap to his grumpy face. It's the flash of genuine pride that lights his eyes when Roshni flawlessly executes a complex defensive strategy they argued about. The turning point is not a single grand epiphany, but a series of small surrenders. Perhaps the most moving is a quiet scene where he finds Samir, overwhelmed by sensory overload after a difficult practice, gently rocking in a corner. Instead of trying to coach him out of it, Arjun simply sits on the floor a few feet away, in silence, a silent admission that he is finally ready to learn their language instead of forcing them to speak his. But the soul, the fire, the very reason for this film's existence, is the phenomenal ensemble of actors who comprise the Angan Avengers. In casting numerous actors with Down syndrome, the film achieves a level of authenticity that is not just rare, it is revolutionary for mainstream cinema. These are not performances, they are testaments. Pallavi Gupta's Roshni is the heart of the team's competitive fire. Her journey from being suspicious of Arjun to becoming his trusted second-in-command is the film's central emotional arc. Rohan Joshi's Samir is its quiet soul, a performance of immense physical grace and emotional depth that communicates more with a glance than many actors do with a monologue. And Vivin Shah's Monty is a comedic revelation, a whirlwind of energy whose humor is a shield for a deep well of sensitivity and a fierce loyalty to his friends. The film grants each of them their own arc, their own moments of doubt, and their own heroic triumphs. Prasanna's direction ensures that the sports drama elements are genuinely thrilling. The on-court action is kinetic, visceral, and beautifully choreographed. He uses slick montages, breathless handheld camera work, and a thunderous sound mix to make you feel the stakes of every game. The journey to the Special Olympics National Championship is a classic underdog story, but it feels fresh and vital because the stakes are so deeply personal. We're not just rooting for them to win a trophy, we're rooting for them to be seen, to be respected, to take up space in a world that too often renders them invisible. A scene where the team is denied service at a roadside restaurant is handled with excruciating realism, but it's the team's reaction, a mix of confusion, hurt, and ultimately, a shared resilience, that lands the heaviest blow. Arjun's transformation from passive observer to ferocious protector in that moment is a cathartic, cheer-out-loud turning point. The film's thematic core is its radical, unapologetic embrace of joy as a form of resistance. It argues that the most powerful statement against a society that insists on defining you by your limitations is to live a life of exuberant, unbridled happiness. This is not inspiration porn. The film never shies away from the real-world challenges, the medical concerns, or the societal prejudice. It acknowledges the struggle, but it refuses to let struggle be the main character. The heroes of this story are defined by their capacity for love, their wild humor, their fierce loyalty, and their passion for basketball. Their disability is a part of their identity, but it is not the sum of it. This is what makes the title so perfect. Taare was about one star, lost and in need of guidance. Sitaare is about a whole constellation, each star shining with its own unique light, but creating something even more brilliant together. The final championship game is a cinematic tour de force, a nail-biting, emotionally exhausting, and ultimately transcendent sequence that had the entire audience on its feet. It's not the winning that matters, but the way they play, with creativity, with unpredictability, and with a love for each other that is their ultimate secret weapon. Shankar Asanloy's music is, once again, intrinsic to the film's DNA. The soundtrack pulses with energy, from the foot-thumping training montages to the poignant melodies that underscore the film's quieter moments. Monty's raps, woven organically into the narrative, are lyrical highlights. The cinematography brilliantly contrasts the cold, sterile blues of Arjun's former life with the warm, chaotic, sun-drenched palette of Angan. Sitaare Zameen Par is a landmark film. It is a profound statement on the power of community, empathy, and the human spirit's indefatigable search for connection. It is a film that entertains and enlightens in equal, breathtaking measure. It will make you laugh until your sides ache, and it will make you cry tears of pure, unadulterated joy. It is a film that reminds us that the most extraordinary people are often found in the most ordinary of places, and that the brightest stars don't just light up the sky, they light up the world, right here on Earth. This is not just a film to be watched. It is an experience to be cherished. It is quite simply a gift.